Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to properly or correctly draw the letter R. So let's take a closer look at the letter. To draw the letter R, we need to have a thick stem right here. We also need to have a thick bowl right here. And we also need to have a thick leg right here. So these three parts must have visually the same thickness. And then to connect those parts, we need to have horizontal bars that are thin. As you can see, thin horizontal and thin horizontal. So these two parts need to have the same thickness. It has to be thinner if you're going to draw a letter with contrast. And aside from those thicknesses, you need to add serif here, a serif here, here, and here. So those are the parts of the letter that needs to have a serif. So that's how you draw your letter R. But let me just zoom it in a little bit for you to see some of the little details that you need to consider. When drawing the curved part or the bowl, we need to add a little bit of overshoot. As you can see, it's not the exact same thickness as a stem. It has to be slightly bigger. That's because it's a curved part and we need to overshoot it a little bit to make it look like they have the same thickness. And another thing is when drawing the leg, as you can see the leg, you need to end the leg further from the bowl. So as you can see, the leg is not aligned to the bowl. It needs to be further to the right. So that's how you draw the letter R, which is what we're going to practice in just a bit. So if you have this worksheet, the guides that we'll be following are here at this section. So let's start practicing. So here on Procreate, feel free to use any brush or any drawing brush that you want. So we're going to start here at the center and draw a letter R in this width. Make sure you're on a new layer. So the first step is to draw our thick guides. So we're going to draw a pair of vertical lines, and it's up to you how thick you want your letter to be. So maybe this looks good. Okay, if you remember, three parts of the letter R are thick. So we're going to need another pair of guides right there for the bowl, for the thickness of the bowl. And then let's just select half of this and rotate this for the leg. So we're going to rotate this and make sure that the end is further beyond the bowl, right? There. So that will be our guides for the thick parts of our letter R. Let's merge these and open a new layer. Now let's draw our thin guides. So the thin horizontals, basically we'll just draw a pair of horizontal lines and then we can adjust. Let's do that again. We can adjust this depending on how thick or how thin we want our thin horizontal bars to be. I think that looks perfect. So let's duplicate that and bring this down because we need another guide here. There. Now that we're done with the guides, let us merge everything together and reduce the opacity. There we go. And open up a new layer to start drawing our letter. So after you've drawn your guides, we're going to start with the bowl. So let us draw a curve right here. It has to start from the top of the bar and the bottom part of the bar right here. And then let's move this to make sure that it has some overshoot like this. Let me zoom it in. As you can see, it's not aligned to that. That's what we want. We're done with that. Let's draw the inner bowl or inner curve like this. Let's edit this. Make sure it touches this guide right here, this guide, and this guide. There you go. And let's just erase the excess. Okay. We now have our thick bowl. Next is, let us draw the thick leg. So to do that, for this horizontal bar guide, we can just draw like a curve, something like that. Then here from the horizontal guide, there, to the other diagonal guide. Let's just extend this with a straight line right here, here as well. And then we are done with our leg. Now for that, let's start to draw our serif. So if you remember, we need the serif here, 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 and here. So let's just zoom it in here and draw a serif like that. So it's up to you if you want to create a horizontal line here or just curve it. Then I want to curve this right here. So there you go. The leg of the letter R is done. Now let's add serif here as well. This needs a serif here at the base as well. And here as well. So I'm just rotating the canvas because it's easier for me to do the curves a certain way. And now that you're done with the serifs, let's just use that guide to everything, to connect everything to form our letter R. So we need a horizontal here, here as well, and here. Yeah, that's connected. Okay. So we now have our letter R. What's left for us to do is to fill it in. There you go. That's your letter R. And if you want to do certain adjustments, like for this one, I want to curve this a little bit more. Feel free to adjust it however you want. So as you can see, our letter R has a thick stem, thick bowl, and a thick leg. And the horizontal parts are thin. So yeah, that's how you draw a letter R properly. Now I'm going to show you how you can apply the same steps or the same process to draw other styles of letter R. So here on the left, we're going to draw a narrow letter R that's a little bit more luxurious. And for this one, the wider guide right here, we're going to try to draw a wider letter R that looks chunky. So I'm going to speed up the process just to show you that I'm going to use the exact same steps, but altering the details a little bit to create a different style of letter R. By just applying the same base structure, we were able to create different lettering styles of the letter R correctly. So just follow these steps on how to draw the letter R. You could draw them narrower or wider or normal. Just follow the steps when you're going to create other serif styles of the letter R, and you'll be able to draw your letter R's correctly. So yeah, practice this, and I'll see you in the next letter.